So let us now look at some of the standard properties or methods of standard simplifications of inverse trigonometric functions. The first property that we are going to look at is how to simplify inverse function corresponding to minus x. Is sine inverse of minus x. So whenever you have sine inverse of minus x, how do you simplify it? So the formula is sine inverse of minus x is minus sine inverse x. So we have already seen that there are three inverse trigonometric functions whose ranges are related to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Sine inverse, cosecant inverse, and tan inverse. So correspond to these three inverse trigonometric functions whose ranges are related to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This minus directly comes out from the inverse function. Cosecant inverse of minus x is minus cosecant inverse of x. Tan inverse of minus x is minus tan inverse of x. So these are the first three formulas. And corresponding to the remaining three functions whose ranges are related to 0 to pi is cos inverse of minus x, secant inverse of minus x, cot inverse of minus x. So the formulas are pi minus cos inverse of x, pi minus secant inverse of x, pi minus cot inverse of x. So corresponding to the inverse trigonometric functions whose ranges are related to 0, pi, whose ranges are related to 0, pi, we have cos inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus of inverse trigonometric function corresponding to x. These three functions are having range related to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. For example, we have already seen this when we have discussed the topic values of inverse trigonometric functions. For example, if you have cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2. So if you draw the quadrant diagram for cos inverse, plus, plus, minus, minus, and the range of cos inverse is 0 to pi. So you need to find an angle whose cos is root 3 by 2. Whose cos is minus root 3 by 2, which lies in the range 0 to pi. So obviously this number is a negative number. So you get an angle in the second quadrant. So first what we do is we find an angle in the first quadrant corresponding to cos inverse of plus root 3 by 2. So cos inverse of plus root 3 by 2 is pi by 6. So cos inverse of plus root 3 by 2 is pi by 6. To get the corresponding angle for cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2, you need to find the allied angle in the second quadrant. That is pi minus of this. So cos inverse of minus root 3 by 2 is pi minus cos inverse of root 3 by 2. So if the range is in 0 to pi, so the logic is pi minus the positive angle. Corresponding to these three functions, the range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So if you get the allied angle in the first quadrant, just need to place a negative sign in front of this angle to get the allied angle in the fourth quadrant. So I hope you understand how to simplify the inverse trigonometric functions corresponding to minus x.